Hello, listeners. My name is Charles Scott. The program in which you are about to listen to is called Can We Talk? We come to you on a weekly basis, and our program is informative to give you some ideas of how to sort of plan your life as far as what's going on in the real estate market, and also the economics of what's happening nationally and also internationally. Today I have with me my son, Charles Scott Jr.
Hey, how you doing?
Who's also a broker with Tri-State Realty, and together we're going to try and enlighten you as to some of the things that possibly you may know or you may not know, or give you some information for thought and give you sort of our perspective as to what we see coming, and not only in the real estate market but also economically is what's happening. As you know, there's quite a bit going on. Yes. We're in some times now that we've never been before, right?
Exactly. Very true.
So this is what they call uncharted territory, you know. Right. And so you need as much information as you possibly can get to help you make some of those decisions. So maybe we can give you our insight from an older view and from a youthful view.
Yeah.
The new generation, as to how they see things that are happening. Today I wanted to give you an overview of some of the things that have transpired since we talked to you the last time, as far as what's going on in the real estate market, and as far as what's happening in the financial market. There's two major things that are happening out there right now, and my son can chime in. And that is number one. Let's talk about in the housing industry, the low inventory. Maybe
Right.
you could tell them a little bit about what's going on out there.
Well, right now we currently have low inventory, which you'll see reflects in the price. You'll go on your Zillow app, your Redfin app, as many of our customers say they use, and they'll see on there that the prices are going up. They're not going down like they kind of predicted last year. They thought it was going to be a cool off for the real estate market, but actually it's the exact opposite. Especially with, as you know, the war in Ukraine and the effects it has on our economy. You see the prices going up, and on top of that, the interest rates too.
Exactly. What's happening is that the inventory is very low. A lot of you out there may be comparing it to what they call the ships out in the ocean, the supply chain. That's what they call it. See, I need your help there. The supply chain. A lot of things that are being held up, coming across from other countries. A lot of people never realize just how much and how dependent we are on other countries for our livelihood, and not only our living and no matter what it may be. And the small things, something as small as a little computer chip can shut down the manufacturing of cars, airplanes. Everything today is based on electronics. Everything today is based on automation, the robots. We say, robots are taking over everything. Well, the robot can't take over anything unless it's got a computer chip that's made by the man.
Exactly.
and we're starting to find that out now, that you have all of these items that are all being stopped, and factories shutting down, unemployment, because we don't have enough computer chips. We don't have this, we don't have that. So low inventory is hurting in the housing market, especially because even if you're talking about, let's say, building a new house, one of the funniest things that you and I were talking about is that when they take pictures of the new homes, they usually show all of the inside, the hardwood flooring, and all of the different items in there. And when you look at the cabinets and you look at the spaces, there's no appliances.
None.
You don't have any appliances there.
No fridge, no stove.
No stove, no fridge,
Bare.
no dishwasher. And then when you look and you see all of the different countertops, they got the counter there, but no top.
Yep, granite coming soon.
And we're saying, what's going on here? And then I remember talking to some of the people that are building the homes. They're saying, we can't get the refrigerators. We can't get appliances. They're all stuck out on the ship. They're all, so we can't buy appliances to put in the homes, because the appliances that are made, they're all made in China. Made in all of these overseas. And then the other big problem they have is, what is it now, the stainless steel.
Yes.
People don't realize a lot of stainless steel is made in Russia.
Exactly.
So all of this stainless steel that makes a lot of these different things, and even the cars are depressed into the steel. I was watching a YouTube commercial the other day, or one of the things, and it shows how they extract cobalt and all of this stuff from the earth, and then they boil it, and then they press the steel and they roll it up into different rolls, and then they cut it out in the car manufacturer. Well,
Yes.
that's stopping a lot of things, and so we're at a loss. There's a big supply chain, and this is making it hard for the housing. And when you have a slowdown, what's that equate to? Low inventory.
Low inventory. You're going to see a lot of people basically rushing to the market for two factors. You have the low inventory, and also with the combined interest rates. You're going to see a lot of people basically trying to get pre-qualified before the interest rate hikes come this summer. As you can see, it's already affecting the current interest rate. We went into the 4s for a little bit, then dipped back into the 3s.
Exactly. Going way back, I'm talking about way back when it was in the 2s, people were saying, oh, the interest rates are going to go up. Now, let me tell you one thing, though, and then you can put this down. Even though the interest rates have gone up, it's not to a point of panic or where, I remember, like I said, years ago, interest rates were at 7 and 8, 9, 10%.
Right, 10, 11.
11. So people have gotten really spoiled in the last 10 years because the interest rates were down so low. And that was because the economy was just dragging. So in some cases it was -0.
Exactly.
they were giving away money just to get it out the door and just to have some space for the new money. So now it went from like 3.5, 3.1 about 6 months ago. Now it's hovering around 3.84%.
Just about.
And that's still low.
Very low.
That is still a very low interest rate. So when we say you got both worlds going on right now, what's that mean? People ask me, is it a good time to sell? And I say yes. And they say, it's a good time to buy. And I say yes. They say, well, how can you have both at the same time? Well, you got to look at the future. It's a good time to sell because right now the price of housing is high. In other words, you got a lot of people looking to buy. You got low inventory, right?
Correct.
So maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, because basically what you're seeing also with the stress of the other things on the economy, you see gas prices going up. Gas prices going up directly affects the real estate market. People want to live closer to their jobs, closer to their living, where they make a living. Some may not take public transportation. They may use their car. And those gas prices put a stress on their budget. They may say, I'm tired of living so far away from my job, let me move closer. And then that increases the price for the local residents. They say, hey, all these people from out of town are moving closer to their jobs, it puts the stress on multiple factors.
Right, and what happened is we have like a combination of things happening here. Before all of this happened, you had the COVID. And with the COVID, a lot of people were working from home. When the people were working from home, well, they found out they needed larger space. They want an office in their house. And so what happened is that now, because of that, people needing more space, they want to branch out, and that put a damper on the housing industry. Now, you add into that the factor of the apartments. The apartment rentals have gone up also because people now also want to rent closer to where they live. So if they want to rent an apartment and the apartment is closer to where they live, then what happens is that rents go up.
Yes.
And what we've been seeing is that rents are going up. Now, what's that equate to? That's another reason why you should buy.
Exactly. You see some of these rents are just as high as a mortgage. You'll see a rent in Bridgeport, for example, 3 bedrooms, they're approaching $2,000. I'm seeing 3 bedrooms for $1,800, $1,850. That same apartment, I'll say 3 to 4 years ago, was $1,500.
Or less.
Or less, yes.
Or less. And for the people out there that have been living in their apartments for 10, 15, 20 years, that's the biggest shock that we're seeing, is where someone who they tell me, I have a good landlord. My landlord is good. I've been there 15 years. and you know, he's really nice to her, she's really nice to me, and I say to myself, and I say to them over the years, because every now and then, you know, they come in and they say, oh, I'm thinking about buying.
Exactly.
And first thing I'll ask them is, well, how much rent are you paying now? And how long have you been there? When they say, oh, I've been there 15 years, and I sit them down and I say, oh, well, look at all this. You've spent over $250,000
They see it
on
on
rent.
paper, they get shocked.
They go, oh my God, no way. I said, well, hey, here's a calculator. You figure it out. Math is math.
Math doesn't lie.
That's how much money you have spent. No wonder your landlord loves you. You paid for the house twice already. And then they come in on the last time, their head is held down, they're almost in tears.
Yep.
The whole world has been upside down because now they say, I've got to buy a house. And I said, oh, what changed? My landlord's selling the house.
The good landlord.
The good landlord. I said, I told you years ago, that landlord sooner or later is going to sell that house. And then he said, well, the landlord is selling it for a whole lot more money, and now my rent is going through the roof, and they're not renewing my lease.
Exactly.
And I said, well, see, this is what I was telling you. Your good landlord might be good, but now your good landlord is saying, hey, I can sell this house now and make more money selling it than just keep renting and keeping up the upkeep and the maintenance. So now the new landlord steps in and says, oh, how much rent are you paying? Oh, $900. Oh, well, because of what I'm paying for the house, I can't afford to charge you $900. I'm paying 3 times as much as your landlord paid for the house, so I'm not going to go up that much, but you're no longer paying $900 a month. I'll start off low, $1,500 a month.
Exactly.
You know, $1,800 a month.
And people see that and they say, why is this new landlord coming here? You know, he's trying to scam me. Why is he increasing the rent so much? But you got to realize, like my father said, that landlord's coming in at a new price. He bought that, you know, a property. Maybe it costs twice as much as the original landlord. So he has to recoup his investment.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's an investment because the landlord is not a nonprofit.
Exactly.
And he's not taking the aggravation of cutting the grass and
Snow
removing the snow and fixing it up and making the repairs and doing all of this out of the goodness of his heart. Nope. He's doing that because he's feeling as though, well, one day it'll be paid for, which you will help him pay for it. And at the same time, he's keeping you happy by making all these repairs and maintenance. So he expects to get paid for that. So what's going to happen is that's where that rent money is going. Now, you can do something and reverse that and buy your own house.
Exactly.
Then you are the landlord, you make the repairs, you do the maintenance, but you're putting something into the house and it's called equity, where you're looking at later on owning that particular property. So that's why the rents go up. That's one instance that the rents go up. Now, when we talk about building, remember we said there's that shortage.
Yes.
So you have a law, and I guess it's physics or economics or whatever you call it, supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand,
Yes.
that rules everything. Supply and demand rules everything in the world, you know, whether you have something appraised, a car, a diamond, clothing, housing. When the supply is high, you have a lower price because they're trying to get rid of everything. They're stocked up. That's when stores have sales.
Exactly. That's when they have too much stuff.
They have a sale.
Surplus, as they call it.
They got too much. They have a sale to get rid of the old and bring in the new. You know, when there's no inventory and everything is so low, well, they don't have to give you a sale because they got people trying to buy it, you know?
And how about this? In this market we're in, we have such a low inventory that the land is selling for a lot of money.
There you go.
Exactly. You're seeing a lot of vacant lots in Bridgeport, particular, that are just selling for. You're looking at the price the owner paid for it, and you say, "Wow, there's not even a house on this property, and it's selling close to $100,000 just for the plot, just for the grass,
just for that piece of land." And then that piece of land sat there for years. I used to have people say to me, all these lots they got around here, why doesn't somebody buy them? What's going on? You know, why doesn't somebody buy this house and buy this land and put a house on it? Well, if the cost of buying the land at that particular time was more than, and by the time you build the house and you're not going to make any money, people say, oh, I'm not buying that. By the time I put a house on it, and fix it up, you know, I'm not going to make that much. Now it's just it's a different story. If I buy that lot and I put a house on it, I could sell for $350,000, $400,000. Now all of a sudden that lot's worth some money.
Exactly.
Now I'm willing to buy that lot. So everything has changed around. So what we see happening is everything is changing.
Correct.
And you have to adapt to see what's going on. Now, one of the things that a lot of people try to have a doomsday, they say, oh, this is all going to change, everything's going to fall apart, this can't last forever. Well, it's not going to last forever. What's going to happen is it'll taper off.
Yes.
It's going to go higher and higher and higher, then it's going to level off. But what people are thinking is it's going to go higher and higher, and then all of a sudden we're going to have a depression.
Have a roller coaster type of effect in their mind. That's not how it works. It's going to be a slow taper. You're going to start seeing things slowly decline.
Right. Or prices will level off, because what's going to happen is that it's not going to be where everything, like going back, if you go back about, what was it, 10 years ago, the real estate market went up and then everything fell apart. But that was when they were giving away money like crazy. You didn't even have to qualify for a mortgage. If you could breathe and walk in the door
You're qualified.
and sign your name, you had a house.
Exactly.
It was the theory that everybody was entitled to a house. But some people really couldn't manage that property or manage their money. And they didn't really do a lot of investigating and checking everything out. Guess what? Today they do. So
Yes.
if you are planning on getting a mortgage, if you're planning on buying a house, one of the things that you do have to do is get your house in order, as they would say. It's a pun. In other words, they're going to check your credit. They're going to check your income. They're going to check your job. They're going to check your finances. They're going to check your savings. They're going to check a lot of things that in the past they didn't really get into. So when you buy that house, you already are on a stable footing, because they know that you have checked out. And a lot of people that are buying these homes are coming in from areas where they're already paying a whole lot more rent.
That's right. You see a lot of New Yorkers coming in. And New Yorkers, they make bigger salary than the Connecticut residents. And what they find is what they're paying for rent in Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, that could easily be a mortgage in Bridgeport or, you know, Stamford or Stratford. They could say, I'm paying $3,100 a month for a 2-bedroom here in, you know, let's say the Bronx. I can easily get a house in Bridgeport, a larger house, you know, a colonial in fact, and then basically take the train to work. They could drive to work and, you know, maintain their lifestyle and have a better lifestyle.
Right, and they can come into Connecticut. It doesn't even have to be Bridgeport. It could be Stratford. It could be Waterbury, Seymour, Derby, Ansonia, New Haven, West Haven. We go all over the state. And not only that, before it used to be like a lot of people come from New York, but now you have people coming from Norwalk and Stamford. If there's anyone out there listening and you've ever lived in Norwalk or Stamford, you know, it used to be easy living. Norwalk, close to New York, you know, you had the Oyster Festival there, the parks in Stamford. And now you go up there and it's like gated communities.
Right, the Sono.
The Sono, the plaza, high-end plaza.
Very high-end.
You walk in there and it's like Saks Fifth Avenue. It's not Dollar Tree. It's not Walmart. So everything has changed. Now why would they put a high-end plaza called Sono there, and everything you walk in there is like Cartier and Cartier and all of those high-end shops, because they feel as though people around there got to be able to have that kind of money to buy that.
Exactly.
You know, Coach, Gucci, and everything. So when you look at that, those people that make those incomes, then they're not coming out of New York. They live right around there.
Correct.
And I remember those areas like South Norwalk and all of that, the rents were dirt cheap. Things are changing.
Very
You know, and we have some things that are happening locally, like, you know, the Bridgeport area, we have building that's going on.
Yes. In Bridgeport, you see, recently this past summer, or this past year, they have the Dome now, you know, over there.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Dome. And you see some big acts are coming to Bridgeport.
Huge.
Huge acts. Earth, Wind, and Fire, I believe, and more this September, some big acts. That's going to put more eyes on Bridgeport. Someone may live in the Bronx, or let's say Norwalk or Stratford, and they come to a concert in Bridgeport and say, wow, this city's very nice, you know, maybe I'll move here. Maybe they work from home, or, you know, they'll commute to work. Basically, Bridgeport, you're going to see a lot of influx of, you know, out-of-towners this year, I would say.
Right, and then also there's that big, huge festival that they're going to have at Seaside Park.
Oh, yes, yes.
This year. It used to be the gathering of the vibes.
The vibes, that's what you said.
But now this one looks like that's going to be even bigger than that.
Bigger.
It's going to take over the entire city and the Northeast. So there's a lot of things happening in this particular area.
Very exciting things.
Yes, big things. I mean, huge, and people have been cooped up for the last 2 years. They can't wait to get out.
They can't wait.
You know, you've got a lot of things happening in Connecticut. You've got Hartford that's building like crazy. You got New Haven, downtown New Haven, apartment buildings going up all over the place. New construction. You've got in the middle, you got Milford. You've got the, the Milford Mall. They've gotten approval to build a lot of apartment buildings in there. A lot of these malls are converting into mixed-use apartment buildings.
Yes, you're seeing that a lot.
A lot of that.
Example, Holiday Inn down in Bridgeport.
Oh, there's a good example.
That's been repurposed.
There's a good example.
For apartments.
Whoever heard of a Holiday Inn being purchased and being converted into apartments?
Right?
Holiday Inn, imagine that.
Right downtown Bridgeport.
Bridgeport's got all of these things that are going on. Fairfield's got building. Trumbull has the new buildings going in. It's apartment buildings. It's a plaza on the Trumbull line. Fairfield's got things that are being built downtown. You got all up and down the valley, the shorefront near Naugatuck Valley River. There's a lot of building going on in that particular place. So the state of Connecticut is actually, poised, and it's in the right place. We're between Boston and New York.
Right in the middle.
We're right smack in the middle, and we got a lot of shorefront property.
Yes.
So you're going to see a lot of changes, a lot of development that's going to be occurring, and a lot of things going on. And because of the, we didn't even get into the other things. There's so much going on. We could talk about this stuff for hours. You got the war going on in Ukraine, and that's creating pressure on the oil and the gas prices. And so, with gas hitting $5 a gallon,
$6 in some states. Oh my goodness.
California.
Yeah, you see the California price, $6.71 or $7
a gallon.
God.
You see all these jokes. We saw the joke of the Uber driver on a moped.
Oh yeah, yes.
Pulling the passenger
on rollerblades
and roller skates.
Oh my goodness! Hopefully not.
the Uber driver pulled up on a moped.
Exactly.
Get on the back.
But like we reiterate, with those gas prices going up, that affects a lot of things. The transportation of the appliances to the house, for example, they put those costs off to the customer, the person who's buying it. And the person that buys it, that puts in the house, he puts it off to the person who buys the house. It just trickles down.
Everybody's paying more.
Everybody's paying more.
So in essence, what you have also is that more people want to live closer to their jobs. And you find that a lot of these developers that are building these apartments, they have everything sort of self-contained. I understand that possibly the Holiday Inn that's going to be converted to apartments will have downstairs a restaurant.
Oh yes,
it's going to have a grocery store. It's going to have things that will cater to the people that live upstairs and around it. Because whenever you have a lot of apartment building that's created, it then opens up for other businesses to also establish themselves, because now they have the walk-in trade. One of the things with the cities, you walk through just about any cities in the past, the problems I've seen is that after dark, the downtowns are deserted.
Exactly, you see that a lot.
5, 6 o'clock, there's nobody. But if you put all of the people downtown that are walking, that can frequent a lot of the shops and a lot of the buildings and a lot of the stores, now those businesses can survive.
Exactly.
So everything is changing. So what we have, and you're sharing in this, and you're seeing a lot of it, right?
Yes, I'm seeing it firsthand, as you see. A lot of exciting things to come for Bridgeport and Connecticut in general, and the real estate market.
In the real estate market, and real estate drives a lot of things. It drives the economy. You figure out how much money you spend every month, and I'm sure your biggest bill is the real estate.
Yep.
Whether you rent or whether you have a mortgage. And you've got to be able to plan and be strategically able to say, how can I get this to benefit me? Or
Yes.
how can I at least be able to plan ahead so that it doesn't affect me as bad
Correct.
as it will? Because it's not going to change. You got to live somewhere, you know. And, you know, right now we have more people moving back in with mommy and daddy and staying there than ever before. And mommy and daddy selling the house because they want to get away from the kids and have their own space.
I get those calls a lot. Like, who's your landlord? I live with family right
I
now.
live with family.
Yeah.
I asked a lot of times the parents, I say, why are you selling the house? And then they whisper, I want to get away from my kids.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
We get that a lot.
Yes.
So basically, I hope today we, you know, Charles Scott Sr., Charles Scott Jr., we've been able to, you know, tell you some of the things that are going on. But as I said before, these are things that that are going to affect your life. I can't say that they may, because they are.
They will.
And it's not going to stop changing. You know, like I said, we didn't really get into, you know, we have this, you know, they don't call it a war, they call it
global politics. Or
politics, what's going on out there. And you have something there that's going to, who knows where it's going to evolve or where it's going to end up being. You know, we're praying for the people that live there.
Correct.
And
Yes,
all
we
of
are.
the things that they're going through, because as bad as we have it here and what we're doing and some of the things that we think may be bad, I mean, I say as bad as we have it, some of the times we're in the best times that we've ever had.
Okay.
And
Point of view. Very true.
That's right. You
Very
watch
blessed.
TV and you see those things that are happening over there, unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
You know, these are people that have been in their homes all their life, and you know,
Yes.
we watched. You want to see something change? Look at a YouTube.
Kiev.
Look at Kiev
From last year.
Look at it last year.
Thriving city.
If you want to see such a difference, go to YouTube and look at, what's it called?
Kiev.
Kiev, and Google it. That was the most beautiful, thriving city in
Yes.
the world. The people didn't have a care in the world. Beautiful city. And then
Yes.
switch to now and look at
It's
it.
devastation.
Your life can be turned upside down. So that's what we're trying to tell you. What's happening around here, you're not immune to it. If you had an apartment that was low rent and beautiful and you loved it and your world was great, and then all of a sudden the landlord says you got 30 days to move, your world can be turned upside down too.
Very true.
So that's why we're trying to say we're here to help you.
We're to help
Give
you.
some advice. Charles Scott Sr. and Jr. If you know, maybe you want to say some closing remarks.
I just want to say we're here to help our weekly show here, and, you know, we're here to guide you. You see our number below. Give us a call, and, you know, we can go from there.
And again, like I said, you know, anything that we can do to help. The program is called Can We Talk? And we're doing the talking, but we trying to
hear from you, too.
We're trying to give you some advice. We want to hear from you too. With that, God bless. Until next week.